Yeah, yo. Woke up in the morning and to God be the glory. Thankful for another day to tell my story. Put my opinions in the universe and let them orbit. I'm from the dirty south with a dirty mouth, might need orbit. Miss things on me like a nigga Norbit. Had to refuse them cause my bitch no Resfusion, she gorgeous. As I dap my sons up and kiss my daughter forehead. Tell them we gon' get this money till my pockets morbid. Remember living in apartments, now we playing mortgage. You ain't gotta like a nigga regardless, baby, I'm blessed. And I keep that blick with me, we like grits and eggs. As you sip your coffee, flick your cigarette and let a nigga vent. Yeah.
We're back. Yeah, we're back. Grits and Eggs Podcast. I'm your host, Deontay Kyle. This is episode 19. As always, hit me on the line. 1-855-234-EGGS. Leave a voicemail. We have one at the end of today's episode that was rather extensive. I think that fella was a little upset with me. But just give y'all a little rundown. All right. The original episode 18 was with me and Big Cat behind camera right now. Say what's up, Big Cat.
Yo.
We ran the fucking iPad out, so it ended up dying, killed all the audio. So then I go back and re-record episode 18. Camera storage full, 12 minutes into it on both cameras. I think I probably got like 18 to 20 minutes of footage on the B cam and A cam, 12 minutes. So that's why it's audio only. And I was drunk, which is probably best for the audio only anyway. It was like leading up to Ramadan. I was having me a little last drink type shit. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Empty stomach. Shit happens, man. We've been having some technical difficulties, but we're going to keep rolling through it. We're going to keep persevering. This is episode 19. I want to start this thing off, man, look. So we know the whole debacle this week was about the young lady said she was afraid of hood people and shit. So let me get to this point. In the hood, you have poverty. Poverty is a precursor to crime. Okay, so you're afraid of criminals, but criminals exist everywhere, right? You got white collar, blue collar criminals. You got criminals from the hood in every race and aspect. I think that the issue with this is that to most black people, black is a race, it's a culture, it's a point of pride. We have a rich history. And so we don't lump in like just hood or not hood or suburban. Black is black. And especially in African Americans and people who have an ancestral heritage of slavery in this country. But to most people, black is a designation. And it's a class designation. It means shiftless, poor, all the stereotypes, criminal, uneducated, ghetto, ratchet. All of these negative things is how people view black. So when you get immigrants coming over here, they automatically think they're better than us because media has been pushing that propaganda about harmful stereotypes for a long time. And this isn't anything new in America. But when you get into this place where you have second and third generation middle class or upper class black people that want to separate themselves from lower class black people, this is the kind of conversations we're going to have. And what we're going to start seeing is a more increasing divide in our communities because black is a designation to most people. They are trying to get themselves away from blackness. And blackness in the sense that you're not going to be able to, based on our skin tone alone, you can't separate me by class. We all just niggas. They don't want to be lumped in with that. Now they cool with the culture, they cool with the swag, they cool with taking part in the history, and a lot of the things that's been produced out of the hood, but they don't want to be lumped in with the hood. I have money. I have, I'm civil. I have decorum. I have some couth about myself, and all of these things, and rightfully so, in some senses that. Look, you work hard and you don't want to be stereotyped. But there's hardworking people in the hood too that don't want to be stereotyped. The stereotype isn't about class. The stereotype exists solely by the color of our skin. It's a white supremacist issue. So instead of attacking people that come from the hood, why don't we start attacking the systems that put us there in the first place? Why don't we start really criticizing, like, bruh, we are on the ass end of a chemical warfare. The crack epidemic was not just like some drug craze. It was chemical warfare. This is all orchestrated. This was done purposely. This was a conspiracy. And what you're looking at is a bunch of people living in the remnants of a chemical warfare. And not only that, this kind of sparked in my head today. 2010 to like 2015 is when we really seen a ramp, the gentrification really ramp up. I would say the last time I felt like Atlanta was like 2008, 9, 10. Then we seen the gentrification thing ramp up. Well, crack epidemic hits in what, the 80s, right? So 80 to 85, before it really like takes hold of the community, when it's in its infancy stages, you have people getting into what, 30-year fixed rate mortgages? How does that correlate from early 80s home owners that didn't know their neighborhood was going to go to shit, didn't know they was finna get hit with a fucking chemical war, to now all these people coming in buying up property of abandoned houses, people abandoning the neighborhood? And honestly, we can criticize the people. I have a critique for the people that still participate knowing better. I have a critique for these young niggas that grow up in suburbs and still want to be and identify with the hood. But you got to also understand how this shit affects people's brain chemistry and their perspective on life. So you got people that's fleeing from these low-income neighborhoods because the drugs are being pushed in, and it's either pushing the people out or it's making the people real active about what's going on. And then everything has already been set up with all the redlining, so we already got people in projects, high condensed areas. So it's just like you throwing bombs into a cage, really. There's no really way to escape it. But then it bleeds over into culture, it bleeds over into music, and it bleeds over into a mentality. How much of the common street mentality is based on a prisoner's mentality? How many cultural things are in the hood that are directly related to how people do shit in prison? So instead of, statistics without context is propaganda. So when you judging gang members and you judging, thugs and drug dealers and stuff like that, yes, criticize the actions. Understand that the actions of a few are affecting the image of the many, right? But that's also by design. Because you could easily represent black people in a great light. There's easily so many culturally rich things that we have contributed to this society that could be our identity. Because every race has their low-level criminals. Every race has their quote-unquote degenerates, the deplorables. But that's not, Mexican street gangs are some of the most violent that we've seen in this country and abroad. But they get the stereotype of being hardworking. Now why do they get that stereotype? Because when they flee over here, you need them for cheap labor. Give them something to be proud of. If all you want to do is kill and lock niggas up, of course you have to justify that. All this shit is propaganda. We live amongst a government of pure criminals that participate in insider trading, that are decrepit, old as fuck, and have no business making decisions for the rest of the 95% population that's way younger than them. And that's actually living in a world that they don't know anything of. Me and an 80-year-old have nothing in common except that we alive. Our perspectives aren't going to overlap in many places unless they're black. So when we go to trying to separate ourselves and segregate ourselves based on class, you're really just playing into the game of the enemy. It's still a divide and conquer type of technique, because you have people in our community that's not only informed heavily by religion, but then you have a younger generation that doesn't want anything to do with religion at all. We will take some of the traditional aspects of religion, but we trying to kind of like get out of this mindset of like praying and hoping and being docile and turning the other cheek, and kind of getting into more like a proactive stance in this country, and without the cloud of religion over our head, because we know what the origins of that is and why it is. But you also have immigrants coming over here that look just like us, and know when they touch down here, they'll be lumped in with us based on image alone, and they try to separate themselves. So you got so many different factors of division at play. How do we weave it back in? How do we get it all back in? Because who immigrates to a place, if everything's good in Ghana, if everything's good in Nigeria, you have no reason to try to come to America for opportunity. All countries with a majority black population are going to have some type of corruption at the top to keep the black population under control, to siphon the resources from that black population, to siphon labor from that black population. And all of that stuff works through propaganda and division. So, yeah, we may have an issue with colorism in our country. We may have an issue between genders in our country. And every issue that black people currently have in this country, you could trace back to some sort of propagated systemic attack. Every one of them. We don't have a skin bleaching problem in this country, right? But in your more quote unquote third world countries, Jamaica, Haiti, and certain countries in Africa, they have a heavy skin bleaching problem. So if you leave your country with self-hatred, if you flee in your country for a better opportunity in America, you understand what the designation of black people in this country are. Even if you've never had a conversation with us, you understand how we're treated, and you know you don't want to be treated with that, like that. So what's their saving grace is assimilating into whiteness, denouncing us. Hey, no, I'm not like them niggas. I ain't nothing like them niggas. Niggas get a little money and they perpetuate the same actions. Everybody, the whole thing about, black prosperity is, what's the main thing niggas say? Even when they in the street, even when they hard working, the goal is to get out of the hood, right? Now, understandably, if the hood is a chaotic place and the hood is riddled with crime and drugs and violence, and it's a very densely populated thing where you really can't escape the woes of it, even though people do every day. If you can't escape the woes of it, yeah, of course. That's the mentality. Let's get out the hood. But the issue is, if you leave the hood, you take the resources with you. So every person that makes it their plan, makes it their vision, and makes it their objective to leave the hood, understand they taking the resource with them. So the hood is just more and more depleted. It's more and more depleted. It's depleted of mentality. It's depleted of resources. It's depleted of opportunities. But the poorer people get, the more violent they get, the more criminal they get. People got to make ends meet. And if the average 9-to-5 worker or the average working class person, no matter how decent their salary is living check to check, then how is the people they ain't even got a check? How do you think they living? So, me personally, I don't judge nobody. I'm not above anybody or any actions that they take. I've been broke before, and I did some shit to try to unbroke myself, to try to enrich myself. And 9 times out of 10, crime don't really pay, because we all gonna end up in the same place, jail or dead. It's only a few people that's wise enough to smarten up to that and kind of change their lane. And the slow money turn, that's a long road. We still on that road. But I think objectively not trying to separate yourself from large swaths of your community, especially the parts of it that you really want to identify with, that become identity markers for a lot of people, right? A lot of us, even if we grew up in the suburbs or grew up in cul-de-sacs, is proud that we have some type of origin in the hood. We understand culturally what that significance is. And then we get to this place where we trying to decide who's black and who's not. And you got people that are coming over here that are black by race and by identity and how they're going to be viewed in this country, that understand what a designation black is and don't want to participate in the culture, don't care anything about the history, don't care about the context, take a lot of white supremacists talking points in order to justify their ways, i.e. somebody like Candace Owen. And then when they want to do a rebrand, you know, it doesn't it always seem like every time somebody go against the hood, go against the neighborhood, go against the people, and then them white folks remind them, yeah, you still a nigga too. We'll fire you too. We'll exploit you too. We'll ruin your reputation too. They always come back over here. Candace Owens sitting down with who she sat down with? Joe Budden and the Breakfast Club. Because at the very least, she trying to gain some cultural currency back. That shit is cooked. And people are so quick to, like, oh, well, I actually agree with what a lot of she say. She not saying nothing too spectacular if we really think about it. She's saying a lot of common sense, rational things. But my issue with these speaking points is that everybody else gets the benefit of the doubt, right? I'm not gonna turn my back on black people because they from the hood. I'm not gonna turn my back on black people because they commit violent acts or they living a life of crime if I know the origins and I understand the context. Is it good practice to try to get away from deviancy and, you know, criminal activity? Yes. Do some people have a fucking choice? So it's easy to say, oh, gang members is stupid. That is dumb. And they participate in the destruction. All they doing is killing each other. Yeah, all that is true. And I want that to stop as well. I want it to stop. Senseless acts of violence, I want it to stop. Killing somebody over a neighborhood, it should stop. But we just have the luxury of not being born into it. I have the luxury of not growing up in LA, because the thing is that it's easy on the outside to say what people should do when you're not in that position. If you was born in them neighborhoods, would you have the willpower to go against what everybody else is doing? Like, that's not even human shit. We adapt. We have a more than our will to live is our will to not be exiled. So you niggas think that you would grow up in South Central and be a crumper. All right. You more than likely would gangbang. Especially if your mama was a gangbanger and your daddy was a gangbanger. And they grew up in the height of it, not only the height of gangbanging, but the height of the crack epidemic. Numb to murder. Numb to prison. It's a lifestyle. If your daddy sold dope, you probably would want to sell dope too. It's easy to judge people when you don't live in them circumstances. It's easy to judge people when you grew up with two hardworking parents that wanted to get you away from that. And even if you tried to stray into those areas, you had already had the foundation set up to smarten up from that. And if you got an opportunity to change your life, you did. Like me. Like a lot of black men. But if you born into them circumstances, first of all, your scope on the world is super limited. So it's so easy to judge people that you feel better than. It's so easy to judge people and say, you make me look bad. Look bad to who? When you look at other niggas and you say, oh, you're making us look bad, think about who they're making you look bad to. Who are you seeking this approval from? Because when we really break it down, you want to look good in front of white people. And if your objective is to look good in front of like white people, then you're going to take on some of the same mentalities as said white people. And then you just become a white supremacist yourself. It's a lot of Klan members out here that look just like us. Right? We got a handful of issues we could spend all day talking about. We got a handful of things that we can go through and discuss. But I want to say this more than anything. Before we get to misogyny, before we get to colorism, before we get to the issue with how we rearing our children and just children having rights to identity in the first place, you got to start in a position where you have a point of pride in your community. Because if you don't, it's nothing we can do anyway. No matter what the socioeconomic background of these people is, no matter what their behaviors is, that's your community. Every aspect of it. That could be black, that could be gay, that could be trans, that could be religious, that could be atheist. If we want to continue to say we're not a monolith, and we want to continue to be judged on a spectrum by ourselves, then we have to allow ourselves to exist on the spectrum. And we have to also allow ourselves not to be so easily fooled into trying to appeal to the gaze of people that have been working very hard for hundreds of years to ruin our identities. And not only do they work hard to ruin our identities, but to steal our creations, to make them their own. Everything is ignorant until it ain't a nigga doing it. Then it's fine. Then it's trendy. Then it's hip. It's new hot slang. It's Gen Z slang. Whole time it's AAVE. We are getting to the place where we're starting to cherry pick from our culture too. We're getting to a place where we're starting to appropriate our own culture. So, yeah, would I go to LA and be like, take me to the hood? No, that's stupid. That's stupid. Going places trying to explore the hood. First of all, going somewhere to explore a place where people are having a fucking rough time. As an outsider, for what? Like a museum? You trying to sightsee? You want to go sightseeing in a place where people are having some of the worst times of their life and still trying to figure it out and have built a community around it and have an understanding and already feel exiled and outcast from the rest of the world? No. Is it wise to do that? No. But is it also like wise for you to judge people because they wore a bonnet to the airport? That shit ain't got nothing to do with you. And why can people from the hood make you look bad, but you can't make them look good? We're gonna move right along. It ain't a lot. It ain't too much going on this week. I think we can get into some of these segments. Do you want to start with the CD player, or do you want to take this call from this listener?
Go to CD player. Listen to my man.
Yeah, we got to give my man some context. Listen, bro. All right, last time I was ScHoolboy Q Blue Lips. Today we doing an official review. Listen. Last year when I told y'all Killer Mike had the album of the year, y'all called me cooked. Oh, you just old. You out of touch. This is the only album that have dropped in 2024 that can even be considered for album of the year. This is an absolutely flawless fucking album. First of all, you're going to be hard pressed to get me to ever say Blank Face ain't his best album, but this is his best album. Full stop. And I've been waving the blank face flag for years. The album is right there. I've been waving the flag for years. This is ScHoolboy Q's best work. It's his most mature work. It's his most intricate work. And he actually took his time and created an entire conceptually sound album, but also that reflects the times we in. We know people have a short attention span. Every song is 2 songs. Every song has a different vibe. Like, he'll go from a dead hip hop, boom bap type sound into like a turned up rock and roll type vibe, a techno EDM type vibe, and then the next song will have like a jazz feel to it, and none of the flows are the same. The subject matter is so vast on this. It's like, bruh, it's one of the best albums I heard in years. If we honest, like, if I had to put it up next to the Killer Mike album, I'm picking Blue Lips. And that's not even me being biased because of how I feel about ScHoolboy Q. It's just really a fucking good album from top to bottom. He got a song on there, Ohio, where you get three songs in one, and Freddie Gibbs on the feature. But also, he brought Fo back. So Druggies and Hoes Again has 3 parts, and everybody kind of been waiting on the final part, the part 4. And instead of them talking about drugs, they kind of talked about like rising above being drug addicts, you know, and was real honest about themselves and how they viewed themselves as drug addicts. So it was a great conclusion. And of course, we talking about Absol on the feature. Druggies and Hoes, ScHoolboy Q, Absol. Every song slaps. But Fo is the much more mature version, and it's a good finale for the series. But then you also have, you know, Childish Major. I mean, he has some great features on here. Pop, number 2 song, Pop. So we go from a very like jazzy blues intro on Funny Guy, and then straight into like the most turned up punk rock shit ever with Pop, with featuring Rico Nasty. Amazing feature. Thank God for Me and Blue Slides, probably 1 and 2 on the album as far as songs go. I think Blue Slides may edge that. Like, I think Blue Slides is the clear front runner for the album, but the album itself, this is ScHoolboy Q is 10 out of 10, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna be hard pressed to think of any artist that can come out with an album that's gonna be better than this, because a lot of people are very single driven and they just trying to stream. He actually took his time and made a very concise, very tight, conceptually sound, lyrically strong, transitionally strong, feature strong. Everything about this album was top tier. Everything about it, even down to the fucking cover. Everything about it. He thought about everything, and then he's on it. I just watched his Drink Champs interview today. Not a big fan of Drink Champs. I'll say this: they didn't do a whole lot of drinking. It was a very good interview, and he had the interview with Nadeska where he kind of give you a lot of background about who he is as a person. ScHoolboy Q for Album of the Year for Blue Lips, 10 out of 10. Proper too, like. I can't talk about this shit enough. This is a fucking amazing album. And it's easy to listen to because, like I said, the sound doesn't stay in too long. Like, he doesn't stay in the same pocket. So you would have thought he changed the song, and the whole time you still listening to the same song. And the subject matter of the song is similar, but the vibe is different, and he don't stick to the same flows. Like, there's no boring parts of it. There's no lulls in it for real. It constantly challenges you to like go from one extreme to the next, and it keeps your attention. And it's fast paced. Even though it's 18 songs, you really not gonna ever feel the need to like hit skip. And y'all know my word is law. I don't just be vouching for shit just because I like shit. If the album was trash, I would say it's trash, but it's actually immaculate as fuck. It's actually his best album to this date, and that's saying a lot because this man ain't never had a whack album. ScHoolboy Q, Blue Lips. If you fuck with the artist, buy they merch. This week, top five. All right, let's get the big cat in. Let's get the big cat in this week, man. Let's get the big cat. But we're gonna go. You know, we love this. We love this because he swear he having better top 5s than me.
My top 5 is better than yours, and your fans know it. And you lucky we couldn't get the lost episode in because that top 5 was definitely.
My top 5 was shitting on yours, and now let's keep it a stack.
All right.
Let's keep it a stack of Rooney.
All right. Go ahead and get top 5. Tell me the top 5.
You're not the genetic freak.
All my freaks out there.
You don't want no beef with the genetic freak, nigga.
To be on steroids and call yourself the genetic freak.
It's fucking nuts. He's a fucking nutcase, bruh. That nigga will pin you and be like, nah, count these push-ups, nigga.
The genetic freak.
In this week's top five, we doing the top 5 album covers from the year 2000 to the year 2010. Next episode, we're going to do 2011 till present. But this week we doing the top 5 album covers from the year 2000 to the year 2010. At number 5, Mad Villainy. Ooh, very cold. Burr, very cold cover. Number 4, Stillmatic. Orange velour with the pigeon. Orange velour with the pigeon. Nasty fucking Nas. Stillmatic. Number 3, we got the Clips. Lord willing. Niggas is riding in a drop top through Virginia Beach with Black Jesus in the back seat, my nigga.
Selling crack.
Selling crack. Nigga said, Lord willing, I can get these drugs off, nigga. If God don't have it, nigga, we coming up off of bricks, nigga. We got Jesus in the back seat, nigga.
Jesus.
You can't even shoot the whip up.
Slinging crack in Virginia Beach, son.
These is the illest niggas of all time, bro. This is the illest niggas of all time, bro. Listen, the content of Lord willing is strictly crack music.
Just slinging crack.
It's all crack all the time, nigga. And these niggas got Jesus the Christ.
Black Jesus.
Black with his hair swinging and the thorns.
In the back seat.
In the back seat. Willing these niggas to get the dope off.
They are anointed.
Yo,
Streets, son.
bro, listen. Bro, never in your life will you ever meet a nigga whose sole purpose is to sell crack.
Sling crack, son.
It's his gift. It's his anointment. His cup runneth over with crack.
Pusha T, son.
The real Pusha T. Not no malice, just malice, nigga. Niggas ain't even put Pharrell in the backseat. Niggas said we need Jesus.
Niggas ain't get the producers.
First of all, yo, these niggas love selling crack.
That's what they love to do, son.
Because the second album is Hell Have No Fury. These niggas are biblical crack dealers, nigga. These niggas was raised well.
Oh, son. Who raised these niggas to do this, son? Sling crack?
Sometimes you
love to do it.
Sometimes you open the Bible and it just guides you.
Man said he put yams in a tennis ball and they would throw it across the street. Some fans would say we playing catch. I said, what?
Yo, son. These niggas are the best crack rappers of all time. As a duo, first of all, this nigga Pusha T has like a very Art Deco way of talking about coke. Like, it's very high level.
He's the IKEA of dope.
Yeah, for sure. It's the Art Basel of dope dealing. Like, yo, this nigga is a Smithsonian ass drug dealer, but my nigga, nobody talks about cocaine in a way like he loves it.
He's the Shakespeare
of crack. Yeah, for sure. That nigga gets very poetic about this shit, bro. The nigga gets... Yo, son, if you gonna destroy your community, love doing it. Dedicate yourself, son.
And have Black Jesus with you.
Niggas in the backseat. Jesus in the backseat with the chopper. This nigga got a stick in the backseat. Yo, my fucking side hurt. All right.
Move to the next comments.
Number 2, iconic Stankonia. Number 2, iconic Stankonia album cover, the black and white. That's the only shit I'm patriotic about this. If I see good curl.
Great curl.
Great curl. Yo, son. Niggas has never seen niggas' hair that luxurious before.
Not only that shit is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Murals.
Almost if you had the black and white American flag, niggas think you love America. No, you love Outkast.
We love Stankonia.
We love Stankonia. Petition to change the name of the whole country to Stankonia, nigga. Man. Number 1, Lil Wayne, Carter 3. You ain't never seen a baby with tattoos on his face, nigga. You never seen that. You never seen a baby with tats on his face. Highest selling album by Lil Wayne set the record, but his best album is The Carter 2. All right, we're gonna let you cook. We're gonna let you cook.
Let me cook, son.
We're gonna let you cook. And we wrote our list down on an envelope like your mama used to.
All right, so I have a honorary album cover. It was at the tail end of '99 in the May 2000.
You got 400 degrees?
No, I'm going. It's dark and hell is hot.
Fucking.
Go ahead and say it. I'm fucking New York Bike.
No, it's not that. You just love that nigga.
That nigga raised me, son.
X gonna give it to you.
I wish y'all could see my fucking face right now. He said that shit. I wish y'all could see my face.
No Diddy, though. No Diddy.
All right. At number 5, I have The Game documentary.
Cold.
Sitting on the Gold Dayton's.
Gold Dayton's, very LA.
Number 4, we agree. Well, we got the same. Lord willing. The Clips. At number 4.
Yeah.
At number 3, I have 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying.
The Gucci, yo, son.
Nigga.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. The bullet shot, crazy.
Yeah.
The do-rag,
Crazy.
very time-stamped ass album cover. But a Gucci gun holster with the matching belt,
Crazy work.
crazy fly, nice 6-pack on that fella.
Son was in shape.
Son was in shape. Son came out the gate. Oh,
Yep.
go, nigga doing upside down sit-ups. We never seen that.
had never seen it.
Never seen a nigga caring about working out like that.
And after he got shot, nigga was Superman to us.
Good fitness, yo. Yo, high level fitness right here, son.
Superman, son.
And kept a do-rag on. Underneath that do-rag, nice hairline on that fella.
Nice waves.
Nice waves.
We thought it was bald.
I thought the nigga was bald, son. Whole time nigga had the secret sauce. The nigga was under there cooking that shit. That's that penitentiary shit. Let's keep going.
All right. Number 2, I have the Jay-Z Blueprint.
Oh,
the
yes.
first one.
With the mysterious feet in the picture.
Who was he talking to?
This nigga was in the room with the Illuminati for
Yeah.
sure. This nigga was for sure in the room with the Illuminati.
Yes. And at number 1, I agree with you. Stank on You.
All right, yeah. I knew you was going to stank on it, number 1. It's a fucking amazing album cover.
Yeah.
That'll wrap up that top five for this week. We're going to move on to the popcorn player for Angus Cloud's last movie, rest in peace, Your Lucky Day on Netflix. This is a crazy fucking movie. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
You got to watch it. As soon as you get home, get on Netflix, type in Your Lucky Day. The synopsis of this film is, after a dispute over a winning lottery ticket turns into a deadly hostage situation, the witness must decide how far they'll go and how much blood they're willing to spill for a cut of $156 million. Howdy.
Are you recording?
I am. You look good. No, that's fine. You fine.
You look nice too.
Thank you, baby.
Is Jock there?
Jock
I
said-
am here.
He's here. He's present.
Wow.
What'd you do?
Fuck you too.
Stop treating my friends like that. I'll
I
talk.
love Jock. Tell him I say hello. I hope he's doing well.
He can hear you.
I hear you. I love you too. And fuck you as well.
Okay.
Fuck your life.
Bye-bye.
Bing bong.
Bye. Bing bong. So, the cut. So, okay, we're gonna run that back. After a dispute about over a winning lottery ticket turns into a deadly hostage situation, the witnesses must decide exactly how far they'll go and how much blood they're willing to spill for a cut of $156 million. Listen, Angus Cloud is in there. He's definitely down bad. He's definitely on his dick. The nigga come in and just play the lottery. Some rich, pretentious ass nigga, right? Kind of shitting on the owner too, like, oh, I love supporting small businesses and all this and that, and you know, he just playing the lottery just to play it, right? Jackpots, 156 M's, gets mad excited, which you never do, cause you don't know. Okay, what's Angus Cloud's character, right? What's his character's name in this? Let's go back. Let's go look at the cast, and his name is Sterling in this movie. You never know when a Sterling is present, my nigga. You never know. Yeah, you talking about you scared of people in the hood. This is a white man, and you never know. A white man named Sterling. Know that nigga dangerous, son. But you never know how close by a Sterling is when you excited about some money. This nigga put a paper bag over his head, duct taped the shit to his head, cut out the eye holes, ripped the eye holes out, and put the tool on this nigga immediately. And then the story unfolds. Now, because I risk running a spoiler, and because I'm pretty sure a lot of people haven't watched it, instead of doing an in-depth review, we're just gonna do a suggestion for this week. I suggest you go to Netflix and you type in Your Lucky Day. Rest in peace, Angus Cloud. You will not be disappointed. I'm gonna give this movie a solid 8.8 out of 10. High level shit.
What did Rotten Tomatoes give it?
Ooh, what did Rotten Tomatoes? Oh, 86.
Oh, that's good.
86 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, I'm gonna watch it.
86 on Rotten Tomatoes. And that's all that really matters, ain't it? And I said an 8.8.
Yeah, close.
So it's an 88 for me. 88 for me, 86 from Rotten Tomatoes. That means a good fucking film. Go check that out. We're gonna take a call from the listener. Yeah, we moving right along. We got good battery. Good battery?
Good life, son.
Yeah, I
That's
figured
how we fucked.
I cracked the code on that shit. I cracked the code on it. You put that motherfucker on airplane mode, low power mode. We good. We 42 minutes in. We ain't even make it 28 minutes last time.
Make it 15 minutes.
Yeah, we was fucked. We were fucked. We want to get to an hour, so we're gonna take this voicemail. Oh, he left 2.
Damn.
We're gonna listen to your boy. If this nigga talking crazy, I got 20 minutes for this nigga, son. All right.
Wait, how long is the voicemail?
A minute. It's a minute and 20. It's a minute and 27 seconds.
Right.
So we good to go. All right.
Hey, what up, dog? This Mike Dub from Omaha, Nebraska. I was just calling in, man. I just watched that Dan Snyder fucking interview or documentary or whatever, and yeah, I wanted to holler at you about fucking what's the percentage on these goddamn people that end up doing this fucked up ass shit in these powerful positions. What's your take on the fact that these people, most of them never had like a good high school experience and shit, like fucking R. Kelly and fucking Dan Snyder? I'm sure a lot of them other motherfuckers that get caught up for this fucking creepy ass shit fucking end up being the product of somebody that went through high school not having shit, and then they used all that fucking anger to get power, and at some point they end up being fucking chimos and shit like that. That's just weird as fuck. But yeah, that goddamn documentary really fucking opened my eyes to a lot of this fucked up shit that, you know, our whole fucking generation has just been immersed in. But yeah, I fucking love what you do with the show, bro. And yeah, fucking I'm looking forward to talking about it and shit, man. You have a good day, big dog. And stay blessed.
All right, that was Mike Dub from Omaha, Nebraska.
Is this the illest nigga in Nebraska?
Is this the illest nigga in Nebraska? And you pouty fool. Listen, very legitimate question. Basically what Mike Dub is saying is, do you think there's a correlation from people being bullied or not having a good experience in high school to going on to become seekers of power, whether it be in law enforcement or sexual assault against children?
Of course. I don't know the sexual assault against children part.
I think that there is a thing of seeking power because you didn't have any in high school. I think there's also a thing of like, if you just a fucking child molester, you're gonna be a child molester. I think that there is a tradition of exploiting children, sexually assaulting, raping, grooming children in Hollywood that is becoming ever more prevalent in our conversations today. Because when I was watching all that,
Well, first guys, for those who don't know who Dan Snyder is.
Dan Snyder is the producer and the producer of All That and the Amanda Show,
Yeah, he was a
and you
street.
also saw him as the manager on Good Burger.
Yeah, it was him.
yeah, fat nasty fuck. My thing is this: there's a tradition of child molestation and rape in Hollywood, and we see this prevalent. Honestly, I've had this conversation before a few times. It's just sick, and these people need to be locked up, and we don't need to wait for a documentary in order to believe people when they say they were wrong and when they say they had sexual trauma at the hands of a producer in Hollywood. And as common as this theme has become, when there's people coming out and they are making claims and allegations against specific people, and there's several people saying the same thing about a certain person, Dan Schneider. I think the other guy's name is like David Peck or something like that. When we continually hear these names, when we hear names like Diddy, when we hear names like Harvey Weinstein, believe the people. There's no grand conspiracy to take all these one people down with all these people. I think that after a while, it goes from being an allegation to a pattern. And when we get into a place of like, there's a pattern, and then you look, I didn't even watch the show because, first of all, I have a nostalgic tie to the show, right? But I also don't think that it's okay to get people to come in front of a camera and relive like their trauma and some of the most horrific things that have ever happened to them. Also, I think that you could see a lot of like this outward fucking freakazoid shit that millennials participate in. We was subconsciously taking in freak shit our entire youth. Foot fetish shit, cum shot shit. It's disheartening. It's sad. It should not be happening, and it should not be a tradition in Hollywood, but it is. And until we recognize children as people, and children have rights, and children have an identity, and they're not just seen as property, we're going to continue to have these problems because honestly, their parents are pawning them off. There's no way that I'm going to let my child go anywhere with a stranger by themselves. If I'm Usher's mom, he's not spending the fucking month or a week or a day at P. Diddy's house and I'm not present. If I'm Aaliyah's parents, how do I allow her to be around R. Kelly and legally marry him at 15? So we have a lot of people selling their children for fame and money. Let's call it what it is. They're selling their children. And we got Orlando Brown growing up and we see the consequences. We have Justin Timberlake who clearly went through it, who's navigating it in a different way. Leonardo DiCaprio, all of these people are having their own, they've seen some shit. Some people decide to play ball. Some people go from the prey to the predator. And some people are just going to be victims of this the rest of their life. And it's not something they're going to be able to get over. And I feel bad for everybody who had to go through that. I feel even worse that I was watching it and not understanding what I was seeing. But also, I feel bad that they're making a documentary about it and these kids have to relive that trauma because I'm sure the way that trauma affects people, they've never really moved on past that age in their life. That's not something that you're going to be able to easily move on from. And as somebody who has experienced some child sexual trauma in my life, it does manifest itself in other places in your life, and it's kind of something that you're never gonna forget about or be able to move on from. But I got to endure that in the privacy of my own home, and I'm choosing to tell y'all about it because I've worked my way through it, but they had to deal with it publicly, and that's been their reputation and experience. They're never going to be able to see themselves past that. And us all taking it in and nothing happened to the people, nigga giving a fucking platform to Dan Schneider so he can give an apology. Fuck your apology, bro. He should be in jail. He shouldn't be getting out of fucking jail. And everybody that gave a green light to that, the parents, the other producers, the heads of the executives of the shit that knew what was going on and turned a blind eye to it, everybody is implicated. There should be a Nickelodeon Rico. For sure. Disney too while we're at it. But My most heartfelt condolences go out to the people that had their youth taken away from them and couldn't do anything about it and are deciding to come forward now. We stand with you in solidarity, and I apologize for even taking party to viewing it and having such a nostalgic memory of it, not knowing the whole time I'm watching y'all go through some of the worst times in y'all life and shit that would leave a mark on y'all for the rest of y'all life. And fuck Dan Schneider.
Hey, what's up, dog? It's Mike Dub from Omaha, Nebraska again, man. I just wanted to elaborate a little bit more on what I said. So, like, you know, the kid that's in school that get picked on all the time.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Yeah, we're just gonna reiterate it. All right, we feel you, Mike Dub. We appreciate you calling in twice. But I don't think that was 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Mike Dub had to get some off his chest.
Mike Dub not feeling that shit, bro. Mike Dub, we appreciate you. But I hopefully I answered your question in its entirety on the first part. Mike Dub ain't feeling that shit at all, son.
Shout out to Omaha, Nebraska, man.
Shout out Nebraska, bro. I think we have another call.
Hey, what up, dog? This
No, that's still Mike Dub.
That's Mike Dubs, huh?
Oh, Mr. Kyle coming up.
Okay, all right. That's all the calls for this week. Hey, man. We 52 minutes in. You got anything?
My top 5 was still better than yours.
That's a cap.
Come on.
That's a big cap.
It's not.
Hey, look. You can say what you want about any previous episode. I cleared you this week for sure.
We'll let the fans decide again, as they always do.
Y'all tap in and tell me who had the better top 5 this week, me or the big cat.
The fucking big cat.
Nah, we ain't going. Listen, I feel like a nigga that sell towels on the beach right now. A little bit of reefer in my pocket. This has been episode 19. To all my freaks out there. I'm sorry, yo. That's an inside joke for all the wrestling fans.
We gotta do a wrestling episode.
Yeah, we gotta get that off.
We gotta do what? Just so they can understand what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, we gotta get that off. I haven't watched wrestling in a long time.
I'm just talking about old wrestling, like.
Yeah, just for the OG WCW niggas, the WWF niggas,
so they can know what the
Attitude Era niggas, yeah, Nitro niggas, all that type shit, yeah. The Thunder.
Can't forget about the Thunder.
Can't forget about Thunder, nigga. The original Latino heat with the mullet.
Oh man.
Dean Malenko, man of 1,000 holds.
That's nasty.
That's nasty, bro.
Nasty.
But look, this has been.
That should go to a whole other 30
Yeah,
minutes.
nah, we're not, because we finna spin. This has been episode 19, Chris Next Podcast. I'm your host, Deontay Kyle.
The Big Cat.
My producer in the background, a Big Cat. Very tight episode. 53 minutes.
Pretty good.
Covered everything. We did good. Concise. Not a lot of babbling. Not a lot of lulls. Kind of like that great album from ScHoolboy Q. We'll see you next time. Grizz and X Podcast with your host, Deontay Kyle. We out.
Turn the trash into treasure like Fred Sanford. Keep that cup in my hand like a panhandle. Turn the trash into treasure like Fred Sanford. Keep that cup in my hand, keep that cup in my hand. I done blew the whole check on these other dumps. Yeah. Take her back to the crib, she get manhandled. Yeah. Turn the trash into treasure like Fred Sanford. Yeah. Keep that cup in my hand, keep that cup in my hand. Yeah. Bitch, I'm blacker than black like I'm Fred Hunt. Yeah. Dirty stickers inside of the clothes hump. Scotty too hot, I'm hot to handle. Yeah. Problem inside my bitch gon' light a candle. Body like a bitch, looking like a lick. Cooking up some grits while I'm playing with a click. Selling white girl, ever crummy with the fish. Mama found the residue, forgot to do the dish. Pull up in the fish bowl, serving out fish. Tryna dot the cracker like bricks. Tell me when they bottle that it's all in the wrist. Told you when I'm bottling that it's all in the wrist. Wrap big picture, I'ma take a bigger